Hi there guys, thanks so much for joining me today on the channel. I hope you're all doing well. So today I thought that we would take a little look at the differences between major 7th chords, dominant 7th chords, or just 7th chords, and minor 7th chords. So let's get right into it. The first one we're going to look at is the major 7th chord. We're going to be using the key of D major for this one. So let's first of all have a look at the notes that make up a major 7th chord and why it's called that. Okay, so let's take a look at the D major 7 first of all. So we've got a regular D major chord. We've got the root being D. We've got a major 3rd being F sharp. We've got a perfect 5th being an A, and we've got another D thrown in there to flesh it out a little bit. And that's what makes up your standard major chord. What we're doing to make this a major 7th is we're adding in one more note. We're adding in the major 7th interval in the particular key that we're playing in. So in the key of D, I would have D being 1, then E, F sharp, G, A, B, C. So C sharp. That is the major 7th interval in the key of D, C sharp. So we need to add that into the chord, and it's not too far away from where one of our fingers already is. So all we would need to do is change the note that our ring finger plays and lower it down by 1 semitone to that. And the easiest way to get there is to just bar over those 3 strings with your first finger, and you get D major 7, that beautiful major 7 sound to it there. So root 3rd and 5th with a major 7th on top. Now, how do we get from there to a dominant 7th? Again, there's not a huge jump. All we need to do is take the major 7th interval that we've got, this C sharp here, and we need to lower it down by 1 semitone to make it a dominant 7th. So we play a C, and all the other notes in the chord remain the same. We just add that in and we end up with D7 or D dominant 7th. Typically you'll find 7th chords as being used as sort of the first part of a resolution. So you would use it to create tension, and then you would resolve typically onto a 1 chord. So D7, for example, is the 5 chord in the key of G, and I would then resolve by playing a G. So you create tension and resolution. Dominant 7th chords. Now, the difference between a dominant 7th and a minor 7th. Now, you would be forgiven for thinking that you will just repeat the process. You will lower the 7th interval by a semitone again, but that's not what's going to happen, because that would give you a B in there, and you would essentially be playing D6. B is the 6th note in the key of D, so that's not what we want. We want to be playing a minor 7th, and the way to think of a minor 7th is really by splitting the chord into 2 parts. You've got D minor, dominant 7th. So you have a D minor chord with a dominant 7th interval added in. So again, looking at our D chord, if we play a D minor, we've got the D root, we've got A 5th, and then we've got our flat 3rd, F. So D minor, and then we need to add in the major 7 interval. Now we know from the previous chord that the major 7 is going to be a C, so we need to add a C into our D minor chord, and we make it a D minor 7th. So we've got a few ways of playing that. We can either play something along those lines. We can play the bar chord for it. So there's a few different places that we can play all of these chords on the fretboard. But the key difference there, the key thing to remember really is that you aren't thinking of it as D minor 7th. You're thinking of it as D minor dominant 7th. So it's easy to get the get the names of them sort of mixed up. But to be honest, the name isn't super important. It's handy to know it because then you can read the chord chart. But the main thing is that you're playing the right notes. That's the primary goal. So yeah, D minor, dominant seventh. Quick interlude. Just wanted to say that on today's guitar, I'm using the Taylor 114 CE, probably the best sub £1,000 or dollar guitar acoustic guitar that I've played. It's been brilliant. I've had it for a year and a half, gigged it loads, taught on it loads, and it's not let me down. Also featuring a Christmas jumper, a Star Wars Christmas jumper, more specifically. So yeah, quick interlude there. Back to the video. Absolutely have D minor major 7 as well. We can add those in. So how would we build that? Well, we have a D as our root. We have the A as our fifth. We'd have our major 7 interval, our C sharp, and then we'd have our minor third interval, the F. So altogether, we end up playing a D minor major 7. So I hope that's gone some way to helping you understand the difference between major 7, dominant 7th and minor 7th chords. Again, the key thing to remember is that for the minor 7th, you aren't really thinking of it as D minor 7th. You're thinking of it as D minor, dominant 7th. And hopefully that'll make things a little bit easier for you there. You can apply the same sort of logic to different keys as well. You can apply exactly the same principles. So let's take the key of C, for example. You've got C major 7, C7, and C minor 7. So there's lots of different keys and ways that you can use these. So experiment with them, try them out, see what you like the sound of, see what you don't like the sound of, and try and find different positions of playing them on the fretboard as well. Like for example, you don't just have to play the D major 7 there. You can move it a bit further up and play it there. So there's lots of opportunities to tamper with the sound and make it something that you really enjoy. Well guys, I hope you found today's video useful and hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, and I'll be sure to see you guys again soon. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.